The thing with this is it like okay, you know how like the pandas now are famous because they're like, oh, it's their dogs and they're also rare, and China took some of them back. What's the deal with this Mudong hippo?
It's cute.
Wudang.
Mudang?
Means
It's
it means
the
hopping
Wudang
pork
clan. That's what
or
we are.
something.
It means what?
Something like hopping pork or something like that.
Well, that's foreboding.
What does Mudang mean?
Someone just said like, "Oh, my food is moving," and that's how they named this hippo.
It means bouncy pork. It means bouncy
Steve
pork.
Nara knows. It's so cute.
Mm-hmm.
Paul
Again,
somehow has a problem with this baby hippo.
I don't have a problem with the hippo.
He hates it. All he does is swear at it.
There's a difference between me not liking a hippo and me not caring about said hippo. Look at this happy face.
I feel like you taking the time to tell us you don't care about the hippo means something. Means you do.
Means that deep down,
you're doing that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't bother bringing up things that I don't care about.
Well, that's simply not true. Hey, everyone.
You know, the funny thing is that Paul didn't bring it up. We all brought it up, and Paul's like, I just don't get it. So
literally, Paul brought it up. He's like, what's the
No, I didn't.
I brought it up. I
actually wasn't here when.
I believe Paul has the hippo rage.
He does.
The hippo rage, also known as when John Candy, his blood sugar was low. So hello everyone and welcome in. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Yeah, it's been a couple weeks, right? It's been one thing after another. Yes, hungry hippos. That's a much more innocent joke than my mean joke. I don't know what I'm real grumpy.
Yeah,
today.
that was
I've been wearing
edgy
this shirt.
for you.
My assholes live forever joke shirt, and so it's just been a day. But hey everyone, welcome in. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We've
I didn't hear anything you said, by the way, because as I was putting my hair back in a ponytail, I hit the speaker thing and it just started playing the speaker testing song that StreamYard has. Testing your speakers. Here, have a
honestly,
that's a bop.
Yeah, I would rather listen to that than like some artists that are in the mainstream.
Wait, people at home, just so you know, when you go on StreamYard, you can test your speakers. There's a song that plays for you to test it, and it goes like this: 1, 2, 3. Testing the speakers, we are testing the speakers. And it's like a little show. Yeah,
it took me by surprise. Nobody gave me a heads up when I first started, and when I went to test my equipment, that's the first thing I heard.
Yeah,
it was terrible.
Like when you're driving through LA, when you guys are driving through LA to come see our live show at some point, you're gonna be like, who lives in those homes up there?
Yeah.
And then you go and you knock on the door and you're like, what do you do for a living? Or you have the mic, like, what do you do for a living? It's like, have you ever used StreamYard? I've got the only song on StreamYard.
I have
whoa.
The exclusive.
I think that's I think it's the same singer that they hired to resurrect the corpse of that band that everyone likes, Linkin Park. I think it's the same singer.
I think we should find that song and download it and play it as our official theme song. And StreamYard can't get mad because we're using their platform playing their song. And I think we should turn that into our show's theme song. Just in the speakers.
This is how we start like the next big like Metallica versus Napster lawsuit. Just us messing around.
Yeah.
Oh, that one subreddit is gonna lose it. So, hello everyone, welcome in. It's been a few weeks. Again, we had a holiday. We were just out. We were last week. I think we were like all sick. So, we are back. We are hydrated.
Nice.
On this show, we are going to be talking a little PlayStation, a little Warhammer, and we're going to be talking about Agatha All Along episode 1 and the Penguin episode 1. No spoilers on those two, so no worries if you haven't seen them. But I feel like it's easier for people to keep up on the streaming, on the streaming shows than it is when we try not to spoil movies, because it is harder to get out to a movie theater. So, as always, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Thank you guys so much again for being here. I'm going to say that 1,000 times, but we really do appreciate it. So
please don't say it again.
I think Steve Nara just went and listened to the song. He said that song is a bop.
It is. It's not bad.
Listen in the speakers.
All right. Well, as per usual, Daniel's going to lead us through some of the news here. And as per usual, Autumn
boy.
and Alex have no idea what's going on. So this
What?
is going to be fantastic. All right, Daniel, what is...
Oh,
I
are
gave
we
you
live?
2 of these articles, and I saw the penguin, so I have some
You know
idea
what?
what's going on.
You know what? You're just tired. You always get this way when you're tired.
Do you want to do, not anyone here, none of you 3, but all of you, do you want to know what's so annoying and that we've been dealing with is me and Daniel have both seen the Penguin and Agatha, and we're going to talk about this. Autumn has not seen the Penguin, and Alex has not seen Agatha. We're almost all there.
We're representing
Wait.
different markets.
You worded it wrong. Autumn has not seen the penguin, and I refuse to watch Agatha.
It's all
There's
the
a
same.
very big distinction.
It's all the same.
It's a very big
The
distinction.
things
Like, I
that you
will
decide
not.
to take a stance on just will always be
I
fuddled.
should have
He
like
just hates
in-
Patty LaPone.
he does.
Who's
Yeah.
Patty LaPone?
I have
Patty
a story
LaPone.
about Patty
Oh,
LaPone. Anyway,
Catherine
look
Hahn
at it.
owes Alex money. We all know this.
Yeah.
I love
Uh,
Catherine Hahn. That's why it's so tragic.
So, well, we're already getting some notes, and Steve says Agatha was incredible, Penguin was good, but not really my thing. Too much Sopranos. Jin hasn't seen either yet, and Laura
course,
has
it's
said
so good.
Agatha.
Agatha
she's
was
seen.
good,
So we'll talk
yeah.
about
Great.
Daniel. We'll talk about Agatha last, since it seems like most people have probably seen that. But all right, before we get into the shows, Daniel, we have a little bit of news to go over.
Yes, PlayStation news. So we have official figures from, an official release from the PlayStation 5 Pro rather. Long rumored, but nothing solid, nothing official. But we do finally have an announcement from Sony.
Finally,
Tied in with the PlayStation 30th anniversary editions for the new consoles. And I just want to put up a photo because these are at first. Okay, hang on. When the PS5 Pro was announced, they were like, "Oh, it's going to be this price," and it was $700 for the new console, right? And it's just like an iPhone
dollars
upgrade.
or British pounds.
I believe that
I
was
don't remember
dollars.
that. Oh wow,
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Mhm.
But yeah, marginal increase, right? So this is something like the frame rates are going to be better. Fidelity is going to be a little higher.
Relax.
This Liza's comment, that was a lot of the feelings
price,
about the. And then they announced this version, and my thought process went away.
Oh, it's so pretty.
This is so sick. This is the 30th anniversary edition, right? And you can see they're throwing it back to like the PS1. I didn't get a copy of the boxes, but the box
That's a
art is
Totally
also
cool,
going to
different
mimic.
kind of rectangle. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? It's the light gray this time.
You would kill. You
know,
would kill to be a cool rectangle. You're a lame
When
rectangle.
Yeah.
they did the 20th
Look at you.
anniversary on the PlayStation, what was it, 3 or 4? When did
I'm
they
not
do
a
the
rectangle.
20th
I'm
anniversary?
square.
When they
20
they also did a
years
line
ago,
of like the retro ones.
That would
for
have been the
the,
PS3. Would have been the PS3.
Oh, it was the PS3. So the 20th
Yeah.
anniversary was PS3, and that was like people. Is that the one that had the engraved numbers on them, or was that
Oh, I
was
don't
that
remember
another
that.
one? Oh, that was the gold PlayStation. Remember they made a gold PlayStation that it was literally engraved numbers on them.
Oh yeah, I think that might have been the PS3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Anyways,
They're smart. They're smart marketers.
yeah, I don't know. This is all of this news. I'm just gonna say is so relevant to me because I have literally, been, at my current job, this little startup company that I work at. We have been purchased by another little startup
actually
company.
do work at a startup.
A little startup company called Microsoft. And so there are a lot of Xbox, but I
cute.
really want a PlayStation because I really want to play like Spider-Man, Ghost of Tsushima. I want to play God of War. I want to play like certain games. So
PC.
I've been in the market for a PlayStation and I saw this and I'm like, I might hold off because this version specifically, Daniel, me and Daniel have known each other for a long time. We had a PlayStation 1 and 2. Day one buys.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Those were like such special times because that's in like the formative
That's
years.
not what I call special
kicked in.
times, but yeah. Nerd.
Those are like our formative gaming years.
I have a question. Is this gonna be one of those things where they like sell out and you got to drive all over to these different malls and Best Buys
Absolutely.
and GameStop to try to get one?
Here's the
Why don't they
thing.
just make enough?
That's a great question.
That's a question that gets asked every company. Every company says, "Why don't you make enough? Why did you make this limited 2,000 pieces?" Yeah, because we don't want to sit on extra ones. Because
They
Autumn,
never would.
they would
No.
because they would absolutely sit on it because everyone's got a PS5. I've got a Spider-Man PS5. It's all Spider-Man 2 all out. I'm not going to go and buy another PlayStation 5 on top of that. Yes, some extreme crazy nerd balls are going to do that. They're going, oh, I'm going to have 5 different PS. I have a blue PS5, and I've got a green PS5, and I got a Spider-Man one, and now I got my 30th anniversary. I'm not going to do it.
This guy's saying nerd who
why?
has this massive designer toy collection, but whatever.
Supply
Yeah,
and demand.
okay.
So,
Yeah.
I'm also
not gonna-
fairly
Throwing
certain that
some
they're
bricks at glass houses. That's all I'm
And I
saying.
don't know if you guys remember, like when the PS5
That's a
first
nerd level.
dropped, there was like the chip shortage going on, so like people couldn't
Yeah.
get their hands on a PS5. Between
Mhm.
that and like scalpers, scalping.
I was in a
huge
meeting.
PlayStation.
I was at a literal meeting. There was like
Trying to
60
buy one?
people in this meeting. No, there was 60. There was 60 people in this meeting. You guys were, you two were in that meeting, by the way. And then someone just went blank and said, "Where did he go?" And someone typed in the chats like, "Oh, the PS5s are on sale." I was like, "Screw this meeting. I don't care about anything about work."
Alex
And I jumped on
Aronowitz
the
has ended
PS5.
this Zoom meeting.
Yeah, the whole Zoom meeting.
Yeah. No, I think that they will truly only make a certain amount of these because like the PS5 is like the base model. These are like special anniversary editions that I think they're only gonna make a few of. Honestly, I could really give a damn if I get like this particular version. I just wanted everyone to know that I'm in the market.
I just
Or
feel
that.
like a company like PlayStation will have enough data on their sales to be able to make enough that everyone can get one without sitting on a bunch of. It's not
But they
rocket
don't effing-
science. They're not a brand new company. So why wouldn't they want to make millions more by making enough? Like this isn't, as a marketer, it's not that hard to figure
Right.
out the amount. The limited edition is unnecessary. I'm just saying you can make a limited, but make it whatever.
And there's currently talks of like,
Don't you
well, who's
work
gonna
for a
get
toy-
this?
I'm sure I know
designer-
better than
I was just gonna say that, but no, we're
You
not
work
gonna.
for a
we're-
designer toy company where literally everything
it's
is
all
to get people
exclusives.
hyped up to buy their
I'm
limited
not-
edition
very
crap.
different. It's very
It's
different.
not very different.
It's not
They
niche.
wanted to.
PlayStation is not a niche market where there's value, and also there's so much expense in creating these limited that they have to make limited because they
I
can't
didn't-
invest in that much. PlayStation can invest in
Yeah.
meeting the
But
market demand
sometimes,
better. Come
Like
on.
Look how gray
Nike,
they are.
Nike can make
So
7
nice.
billion of every shoe, but they don't. And you know what they do? They make an app that you have to enter a lottery so you could buy a shoe. When they have all these kids in third world countries just sewing them by hand, they could just have a
Oh
few
my
thousand more hand sewn sneakers. But you know what they do? They live in that hype culture, and Sony has
Mhm.
always lived in that hype culture because they get you crazy, and they know
Yeah.
that getting
I
you
like
crazy
how we
is
can't
this.
get through any of these news stories without fighting.
It's why. It's why
Because
Sony
you have the
glue that
worst
holds
takes
us
on
together.
everything.
Yeah, it's
People
why
are like,
Sony.
oh, hydrate, and you're like, hydrate.
Well, that's just
Whatever
not
your
true.
take is
Now,
the
now
worst.
you're wrong about this part, but she's wrong.
See?
You're both wrong about
But I-
different things, but we have to move
I-
on to another thing.
I don't want to. I like
I don't
fighting.
think I am.
And
Yeah,
also, if you didn't bring enough snacks, Alex, for everyone, please put them
Yeah.
away.
I will.
but I will
Yeah,
be
I don't
buying
know.
this gray controller because that's all
I
I'm
like making this
all,
noise.
that's all I
Yeah,
care
the
about
gray
is
controller's
that
pretty sick.
controller. Oof.
I really,
I used to
really
have
very
one
retro.
for PS4, but
Steve.
lost it, sold it.
I see you, Steve. And yes, he is.
I am going to DesignerCon this
Pete-
year. Yeah, and I wish I wasn't anymore.
Will you spend as much as a
Pete-
PS5?
Pete Tano, yes, he will. Pete Tano says hype culture being my PS3 are just fine. As soon as he said
Bro,
PS3, I thought of that Ryan Gosling gif where he's like, when he owns the Velcro wallet. What? All right.
I have a
Well,
Velcro wallet.
that's
Anyway, next story.
That's happening in pop culture. So,
think-
yeah, pretty excited for that.
You have a timer, so you announce a news story. You have 5 minutes to fight. Ding. Okay, moving on. Next news story.
This isn't Infowars. We're not doing that.
Always is. It degenerates
be.
into it.
Listen, the PS5
not
is making the
Infowars.
frogs gay. Okay, it's making the frogs gay.
Oh, that's just true. There's no argument.
Alexis, that was me crinkling around.
I'm gonna lose it.
You know what I say?
Are you
I
eating
think I
like
might hear.
individually sized Snickers bars, like one after another? What are you doing?
No, I haven't eaten anything. Have you noticed me put anything in my mouth? No.
He's opening up
He's
his
just lining
mystery
them up
box.
for
He's
after.
reopening them.
He's opening up his Bratz dolls. Oh, I wasn't far off.
You can't do that after the show. It's like crinkle, crinkle.
I know.
But I like it. It's a nice noise for the show. It doesn't
Not,
sound good for-
it's not. It's not.
It's like
There.
reverse ASMR.
It is.
All right,
It's
Daniel.
ASMR.
Next story,
No.
so I don't have to hear that again.
Well, that
You
sounds like
can
heresy,
come back on.
my friend. And
Speaking of
heresy.
hair,
Speaking of hair,
It's how I win arguments. I just have to crinkle the thing when people are arguing with me. I'm sorry, what? I can't hear you.
Oh my
it's
god.
horrible.
it sounds
All right, I'm
like
throwing it away.
cards
I'm throwing
being
it away.
shuffled.
It does. But like,
All right. Well, we do have another news story, Daniel. Let's get into this one before we get into our show reviews.
okay, next.
Next, pretty big release happened, within the last couple of weeks, and like it's taken the gaming world by storm. Space
Mhm.
Marine 2, a Warhammer 40K. I knew I was gonna mess
Is that
that
a
up.
Candy Crush game?
That is very much like a Candy Crush game, where
it
you
is
Candy
crushing.
Crush the Tyranid.
Jump scares, man.
Where you play as a Space Marine. I don't know. Are you guys big Warhammer fans at all? Is anybody in the chat?
Uh-huh.
Maybe. I did
My
so much
brother.
homework for this.
My brother was a big Warhammer player, so I've always been.
Okay.
I was around it, but I never played.
I took a little TikTok rabbit hole down to like learn the lore, trying to find out how the game works. It's pretty extensive, but it looks fun. And I've been watching a lot of gameplay trailer for this, and the gameplay is a lot like Gears of War. It's a little older, but
Yeah,
it's solid.
It's
I'm
Dwayne
sorry, I don't want to interrupt you.
Definitely got his Candy Crush.
yeah.
I was reading an article that the
Um,
lore is so strict, especially
Mhm.
amongst Warhammer nerds. Shout out to Teppo. I know he's my boy. He's a big Warhammer guy. It's so strict that people are like, I want to do this class
Yeah.
with these group of characters, and they're like, no, we can't do that.
No,
Like,
you
why?
can't.
They're like, the lore. And I'm like, wow. They're like, even in multiplayer, you're inventing your own campaign, whatever it is. They're like, no, we can't do that because of the lore. We don't want to violate the lore. And I'm like, cool.
Where it's like the green guy just used
Violate the
flamethrowers
lore
or
is the name of my
something.
punk band.
Violate the lore.
Violate the lore.
I'm gonna kick you off the show. I have been weirdly into Warhammer for like the last 3 weeks.
Yes.
One of my
It's his
coworkers
game.
is like a massive fan. Kind of like Autumn's brother. He did all the painting. He plays what they call like the
Mhm.
hobby, which is like when you actually like paint your
Does
figures
he
and you go and
build a
compete.
board like a land?
Oh,
Does he
yeah.
build a land?
Mhm,
Yeah.
And
built a
and
land.
so he's my boss, and so I almost feel like obligated.
to.
I'm like, oh, like let
Yeah.
me just like learn about this so we can talk. And now I'm like in deep. There is a YouTube like lore video that's like 180 hours. That you can listen to. Hours.
Yeah, some Teppo sent it to me.
I am 39 hours deep into it.
I could watch. You could watch Buffy like twice.
I would not. And
I haven't even watched Buffy.
I have my own, like I've chosen my class. I was actually it was
Aw.
literally yesterday. I was bothering
Your class is none.
my battle nun,
He's in nun class.
my wonderful sweet
class.
patient girlfriend, and I was like, what do you think about this guy? Like, I mean, his like they don't really have a lot of psyche, but they built a lot of Warhammer. She's like, yeah, that's great, whatever you think, babe. Like, that's just, please, can I go to bed? But I've chosen the Death Guard.
Has a Warhammer.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so Death Guard is fun, but yeah, this game is massive. Even people who are playing like Warcraft, like the hobby, right, which is the painting, people love this game. Like, it's been reviewed really well. It almost also, I don't know if you saw any of these, and Alex, I know you're a bigger gamer. I don't know if you're gonna play this at all, but like,
I've never played a game in my life. What are you talking about?
that's just categorically untrue. But it's like really simple of a game. It's almost like, Daniel, do you guys remember Dynasty Warriors?
Yeah.
I've never played that. You love that
No.
game.
Like with
Yeah, I
shoulder
do.
pads and like hairspray.
No.
No, they do have
And
massive
also like
shoulder
battle
pads.
axes.
I
Go bring
I'm
up.
not-
Go. I know she's doing Dynasty the show, but bring back that picture of Warhammer. They have shoulder pads. They have massive.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Look
Look
at
at
that.
these.
Yeah, it is
Teacher,
That
dynasty.
is.
Eat your
That
heart
is
out, Ally
JR.
McBeal.
Yeah, that's JR right there. So,
Yeah.
gosh, the shoulder pad takes up a third of the screen.
Yeah,
it
it's
does.
huge.
It's so sick. It's so sick. This is literally why I want a PlayStation, because I want to play this game with my boss, because he's like, it's really simple, but it's really fun. Like you can just kill bugs and you can just lose 4 or 5 hours. It's pretty awesome. I was like, all right, well, I don't know, man, but like
That's what scares me.
I get a newspaper, I kill them, and it's over.
Only good bug is a dead bug.
You got to upgrade your perks to an electric fly swatter.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god.
Or a
Yeah,
bug
Daniel,
zapper.
Daniel likes playing God with that fly swatter.
Yeah, I love those things.
I would let them go if they just kneel before me.
Yeah, I think that's it's gonna be an interesting game. I think it might be a little too simple for it to like win game of the year or anything, but I don't remember. I didn't look this up, Daniel, but do you know when the last like Warhammer video game came out?
I know this one is a sequel to a game that came out like 11 years ago. Let me see.
Okay, so 11 years ago. Yeah, because like the first part of this. But yeah, it's supposed to be pretty sweet, and it takes place over the course of like 3 days in this universe. Alex, I'm a little I'm a little surprised you're a Warhammer fan. I thought that you'd be kind of into it.
You know, things that start getting too complicated for me, and I just can't get into them. Like like Liza's been telling me to play Dungeons and Dragons, and
The Macarena.
Rob Kocher has told me to play Dungeons and Dragons, and he's like, "Yeah, we're in like this 6-year campaign." No,
Could
I'm
not
in
do
the
it.
middle of the story.
And you got to meet up like once a week.
Yeah, I can't.
I'll just go to AA. Thank you.
Are we playing talking D&D now?
No, I'm saying Warhammer's got that kind of lengthy
got
lore
it. Like
that like I'm gonna I can't get started on. Plus, I can't paint for shit. So
that's why you gotta
and that's a big thing is painting the miniatures.
I don't know if it's true, but I was watching a TikTok and I remember hearing something where it was like you can't play like this army if you don't have like pieces to represent this army. Right?
It's super specific.
This will be my Warhammer army. These little cute little girls, and they'll be like, "Hey."
Luring you in like a
let's hope no one clips that. Anyways, Alex is going to jail for that statement. So
I'm okay with that.
It's very specific.
Hail or this show.
You can't be like, oh, I'm putting this card down and I'm going to attack these people. And it's like, well, you don't have the piece on the board, so like that move doesn't count. So like you have to, it's like the perfect.
Steve's got a point.
Yeah,
I think like if you haven't painted your minis, like you can't use them or something. Like it's like they're not legal.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
I went to Scotland, and I'm like just walking down, massive store, just massive Warhammer store, just massive. Because you go in there and you want to play. Well, if you want to play, you got to come and you got to register, you got to pay to play, and then you got to bring your army. Oh, well, you don't have an army? Well, you can pay for it, and you can go into that corner and start.
Sounds like a real racket
to
me.
It's a real racket.
But isn't it
if you go to
brilliant?
Dragon Con,
Yeah, it is. Like it's part of the gameplay that you
Mhm.
have to invest in painting miniatures.
yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
You
yeah.
probably have like
It's a
special
whole-
paints that you have to buy from them, or that you're gonna
Yes.
buy from them, and the special brushes and the.
You're
There's
gonna see
a
on
whole
tournament day just
building.
covered in paint.
There's
Brilliant.
a whole, like one floor of a building in at Dragon Con, and I walked in. I was like, "What the hell is
Honestly,
this
though,
nonsense?"
you think
And it was
about
just
it.
tables of people painting, and I was
That table,
just hundreds of them. I was like,
that first floor, you're out of money. Be a good place to go and catch a paint high. Just walk around, and by the time you're out, maybe
"Hey,
you're.
let me see what you guys. What are you painting there?"
You're feeling pretty good.
Oh yeah, like
Dude,
people
just
make
Dragon
good
Con
money
years.
painting
And he's just
Warhammers
talking to some
together.
dude Shibu.
I like it.
Uh-huh,
Laddie, you cannot play without an army. Sit your ass in the corner and get to work.
What
I
is
don't know what
that?
accent.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
I went all over the place with that.
pretty good French accent. So yeah, Warhammer's out. I mean, it's so massive. If I paint them, I'll show you, but I'm shy. I don't like to paint, and I don't like Autumn. No, I don't like crafts. I'm not a crafts person. I'm not going to sit there.
What's up with that? Why?
Because he's dead inside.
I have
weird.
big monster hands. Everything that I have to do is so like delicate, and I can't hold it in my big monster hands.
So
I
paint
bought,
a bigger
I
mini.
bought a
finger
crochet
paint.
kit. I bought a crochet kit. I was like, I'm gonna crochet my niece a little bumblebee guy.
Oh.
20 minutes in, the whole set was in the garbage. I'm not even needles, the yarn, everything was in the
All of
garbage.
Next
I
topic.
went
Next
to
topic.
build
Niece, you want to do something really fun? You want to warm your hands over a dumpster fire with me?
Yeah. That thing those things that people build that they put on their bookshelves that look like, oh, it's a little library and I'm putting it on my bookshelf and light up. I got
You mean
one,
like the thing I have
pieces.
30 of that I did all during the pandemic?
Yeah, sure. That whatever that thing is, the miniatures thing. I was 20% in. I looked at it. I was like, nah, and I just crushed it. I just crushed it and threw it in the jar.
Miniature is like, Greek for cry for help. So,
Book Nook. That's the word. Book Nooks.
My friends got me one of those. I still haven't touched it.
Yeah.
See, I don't have a problem getting burned on a glue gun.
I like
there instead.
The whole room. You know what? Let me go get all mine. I'll give you guys a tour of all ones I've made.
Please. All right, you go do that. We'll keep the show going.
I burned myself with the hot glue gun a million times, but to make my beautiful midsummer custom picture frame by gluing a million fake flowers to a picture frame. So that's adorable. Take that back, Jen Edwards. I love getting burned.
We know.
Burn.
That's why we're friends.
Yes, it is.
That's
why we let you put your hair up in a bun. So all right, everyone. Well, that's our pop culture news headlines. Let's move on to our reviews. Let's talk about a little bit of pretty big pop culture television that's out. I feel like we don't talk about television a lot unless it's like in passing. But to be frank, there isn't really a lot of pop culture television that's come out that's really worth talking about. I feel like we've missed House of the Dragon pretty much, but I wasn't really into it.
You could talk about Rings of Power.
Rings of Power's going right now.
It was a very fleeting moment in our news. And I honestly forgot that show was happening. $1 billion they're spending on that show. That's fantastic. But let's move on to The Penguin, which is now streaming on Max. It is it's an actual sequel to the Matt Reeves Batman. So it's in the Matt Reeves Batman verse starring Colin Farrell. Can you bring up the key art again?
It is a sequel.
It is a sequel.
I know it says limited, but how many episodes is it?
My guess is it's going to be 8. Okay. I don't know if they've said it completely, but it's going to be 8. Colin Farrell is completely transformed as like the Penguin. He's got like all the prosthetics on. Like now that you know it's Colin Farrell, you're like, oh yeah, that's Colin Farrell. But honestly, he's pretty unrecognizable in the film. He's pretty good. So overall, you're going last. You haven't seen it. So Daniel,
I don't need to. No, I was just withholding other nonsense that nobody needs to hear about. So
you didn't see it?
Thank you.
No, I haven't seen this one. Our HBO was on hold. Whoever we're borrowing it from is currently on hold with HBO.
They're under investigation from the FBI. So Alex, you did watch it then?
I did watch it. Yeah. I actually just rewatched it again today.
So
so someone had mentioned I don't like too much Sopranos in my Batman.
Oh yeah.
And I have the opposite feeling that like I'm so over so much Batman. Like I tried watching The Cape Crusader and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna love this. And I was like, yeah, I got excited on Amazon and I got over it so fast. So this is the same crap. Oh, Batman! Oh, and Bruce Wayne! And I'm rich, and I'm gonna hang out with the criminals. I'm like, I don't give.
We know how you feel about Bruce Wayne and him being.
Did someone just play an audio clip of the show? Where'd we get that?
Yeah, I don't even care. This focusing on Oz. You know what? I miss The Sopranos. I miss the good Sopranos. Because I liked it for a few seasons, then I was like, okay, I'm done. This was better than good Sopranos. Plus, BT Dubs. I've been to some of those houses where these things are filmed because really? Being a field service guy for a cable thing, and some of these places were filmed on Long Island. I was like, oh my God, I know that house. Oh my God, I know that house.
Steve has a very good question I think we should bring up. What do you like to watch?
I like so many things. Just we don't talk about any of them. Because we always talk about what's on Disney or what's on, Marvel. That's all we talk about. So I don't like it most of that. So I don't care.
To be fair, we are a pop culture show.
Yeah, so. I know. You're the ones who bring me.
Agreed to be on.
Yeah, this is what you guys said.
Gene Gelman. Was that called?
Is Gene Gelman?
Jogomo.
You guys did this thing. You said, I'm going to create a channel, you guys. You said,
Yeah.
we'll create a channel. And it's like what you love what you like, and don't be a jerk about it. Then you only talk about things that I hate. And
Have you
expect
ever
me to love it.
suggested stuff that you want to talk about and then we said no? Has that ever happened?
No.
I think you're just happy. You're
No,
hating
of
the
course
stuff we
not.
bring up.
Have you ever
Just happy you're
expressed your
hating the
needs
stuff.
to
I
us?
loved
Being
I
miserable.
loved
You're like
the
Oscar the
Penguin.
Grouch.
Penguin
Yeah,
was
he
great.
loved the Penguin.
Yeah.
Penguin was
There's
fantastic. I felt really good watching it. I was like, this is
agree.
awesome. His performance was awesome. He's like a guy and he talks like this, and I love him because I loved him in the Batman. He was my favorite part about the Matt Reeves Batman movie. When the guy's showing him the dead bodies, he's like, "Oh, I don't want to see that." I loved that. That was the whole movie for me. Skip the rest of it. I could fast forward the whole movie and not want to watch any of that movie, except for when the Penguin's getting upset about seeing the dead bodies in a picture. Oh,
I think we should have a whole episode dedicated to things Alex likes to watch, and then we'll watch it, we'll comment on it, we'll talk about it.
Trash.
And everyone just shits on it for an hour.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just crap all over it.
And you know I'll do? I'm like, not
Why are
everyone
you
can have great
obsessed
taste.
with these things?
Yeah.
I can't remember the exact one, but I think it's is it Marks and Rec where he's like, "Feed me your hate. I don't care. It makes me stronger."
Yes.
That's Alex.
What is that?
Yeah.
I
When
don't
was
remember.
that?
I don't
Quick,
remember.
what
but
character?
It's from some show, and I can't pinpoint it now. It'll come to me. But yeah, Penguin is out. I actually got my mom to watch this, and she has no idea of the Penguin or the Matt Reeves version. She liked it quite a bit, but she said she's like, "Oh, this reminds me of Boardwalk Empire, which was a great show." Which I don't know if you guys have seen that show, but that's fantastic. Yeah, and it's kind of like a what is it, like a hero protege story, but like Oz or the Penguin, Oswald Cobblepot is morally gray, you should say.
He's not great at all.
Yeah, no, okay, yeah, he's kind of a this,
In
a
room full of psycho murderers, he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna screw over this murderer, and I'm gonna screw over that murderer, and I'm gonna do my own murders." That's kind of gray, right? No, that's not
Yeah.
gray, Paul.
Well,
That's like Vanta Black.
So like a serial killer who
Vanta
kills
Black.
serial killers is still a serial killer, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's fair.
He's
Sure.
Vanta Black. He's there's no light in there.
Yeah, no, he's a bad person. Yeah, it's good. It's gotten incredible reviews. It's currently rating higher than the Batman, which is say what you want, but it's a pretty highly rated DC project, one of the highest rated, but also it's not entirely fair. That's a whole film, and it's a TV show. But
Can I ask a question? I've never I haven't watched all the DC shows. I'm not really does this work as a standalone show, not having any other
It's a good point.
I haven't watched anything.
The DC universe is like getting rebooted or something,
Yeah.
right? Is this
And the
gonna
Matt
play
Reeves
into that?
Batman has nothing
the
to
last
do with that.
thing I
Okay, so
watched
this
was
is
the
separate.
Snyder Cut. You know what I mean? Like that's the last DC universe
and
thing
you
I watched.
started
Yeah.
6 months ago, and you just finished it because it's so freaking
And I've
long.
just never been interested in the DC. I've tried. I just couldn't get into
Yeah.
them. So like when something like this comes out, the only reason I would watch it would be because of our show. But like, is it something you can watch out of the blue? With no
I feel
other
like
context?
honestly,
Mhm.
it has less to do with Batman than
Oh.
it has to do with
Steve says yes.
So like the Joker, the Joaquin Phoenix Joker, like you just
Yeah,
have
I
like
never saw
a
that
feeling
either.
of what I'm saying is you have a feeling of Gotham City, you have a feeling of Batman, the seeds are there, but it's its own world that you don't even need to watch it. This one, I feel like it's in that universe. Yes, I know what Gotham City is. I've heard of that. Oh, I've heard of the
So
but honestly, you could just watch the show and it's just a really
you're
great
okay. People in the
mob
audience
show.
who have seen the show and aren't, I mean, is there anybody in the audience that is not a big DC fan but still watch the show is what I'm curious about. Like, I might watch this, but like I said, I always felt like I didn't want to watch these if I didn't know what was happening in this reboot. But
Yeah.
And it's kind of like the MCU thing where it's like, if if I start this, like, do I need to watch something else to like jump in, or is this a decent
you
jumping
need
in
to watch 62 hours worth of other things just to watch
Which
a commercial.
we will get into because we are going to talk about Agatha all along. But to put a bullet on his yeah, exactly.
you know what?
Love
That's a good idea. I like that.
Pineapple.
I think somebody
like
burped
that.
a pineapple in the other room.
Yeah, like
I respect
this,
it.
like burped a
Yeah,
pineapple. I just
exactly.
imagining. Yeah, it's if you watch the Batman and then you watch the Penguin, because this is also something that I love about this, regardless of like all the stuff that Marvel does, all the stuff that even DC's done in the past, and Star Wars is like they are going past what they've already done. So this takes place afterwards, where it's like Star Wars, it's like,
Oh
oh,
yeah.
this isn't taking place between 6 and 7. It's taking place 10,000 years in the past. We're like, oh,
Yeah. So
okay,
it does. You
fine.
can just start fresh,
Yeah,
basically,
because they are
work
just
in the universe. Yeah.
yeah, because I think Disney has, we've talked about this before, but they've got their biggest issue of their demographic is so wide that there's like no way that they can appeal to one side of the market because it's so polarizing. So they're like, we'll stay in this safe area where it's like things you've already done. And so with our next show, it was a welcome surprise, talking about Agatha All Along, streaming right now on Disney Plus, because it's actually taking place after WandaVision. I think technically it's 2026.
It's 3 years after.
Yeah,
Is this a
3 years
mom
after
from that 70s show?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kitty.
It
That's
is.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Agatha All Along, both episodes are the first 2 episodes are streaming now on Disney Plus. When did it come out? Wednesday? Is it Wednesday now that they're coming out every Wednesday? That's usually when they do their shows. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong.
Tuesday at 9.
But I'm fairly sure. But you got Catherine Hahn coming back. You've got Aubrey Plaza. Wicked. Oh, there's the lineup. Kitty over there on the far left. That's her name in that 70s show. So Alex, obviously, we'll let you.
And that one all the way on the right was from Dexter? No, Hannibal.
Hannibal. Yes. Alex, you can eat your snacks now. I know you haven't seen this one, so we'll pass it to Daniel. What did you think about the first episode? Or what did you watch both? Or
I did watch both. Yeah, you have to. I loved it. I thought it was great. We're gonna try and keep it spoiler free, but I love what they're doing with it and how they set it up, right? Because it's when they do the reveal, it's great. It all kind of falls into place for you neatly and nicely, and it's like a bow on it. It's like, all right, now we can start the story. Yeah. But it was really good. Aubrey Plaza's killing it. Patti LuPone's great, but she doesn't really come into the second episode. But Catherine Hahn's killing it. She's doing good so far.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the favorite thing I've ever seen. Catherine Hahn is my favorite thing I've ever seen her do. She just tears it up. She tears it up so hard. It's really amazing work. I also, like Daniel, I was skeptical of how are they going to tell this story? Like, are they going to go, is it a prequel way? Because at the end of WandaVision, she's defeated, or we don't exactly know. I forget what, anyway. So how are you going to tell this story? And then, once I figured out what they were doing, I was like, this is great. This is really great. So it was very creative. I thought all of the casting was fantastic. I have a really quick, I saw a clip of Aubrey Plaza interviewing Patti LuPone, and she's asking her questions. She's little question cards, and she's sitting in front of a table of hot wings. And she says, you once said in an interview that Madonna was a terrible actor and she ruins everything she touches and she shouldn't be acting. So the question to you is, look into the camera, apologize to her, or eat a hot wing. And then she just grabs a hot wing, looking right in the camera, and just takes a big bite. And she's basically like, not everyone can do everything. Not everybody has to try to do everything. And then she just she pours it out a little bit. Then she goes, what about Kim Kardashian? Should I just eat a wing now? Love Patti LuPone.
She's great.
The whole time, Aubrey Plaza, you could hear going, I love you. Oh my God, I love you so much. I love you.
Yeah.
It was great.
The two of them have been doing a lot of press, and they're really good together.
Yeah, they are.
The cast has really great chemistry together, just the whole cast. And it's just enough of a mystery when you're watching it that you are excited to see how it's going to unfold. And I loved it. And this is the first Marvel show where I'm back in. I was skeptical. I didn't want to watch it because I was like, they've just been, I don't care lately, but I'll give it a try because I loved Agatha. And it was like, I'm in.
Yeah, this is the one that I've been looking forward to the most. I've been watching the other ones as they come out just to kind of keep up, but it's homework. This is the one I've actually
Yeah.
been looking forward to.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Patty LaPone's
So,
in it. Yeah, Jen Edwards mentions Patty LaPone, and
yeah, it was great.
So
really
great.
big in episode 2. And let me tell you, Disney paid for Patty LaPone, and they made sure you're gonna hear Patty LaPone.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
So I have thoughts. I also watched both episodes, and I haven't really liked a lot of Marvel stuff lately. If
Yeah.
you guys haven't noticed,
Yeah.
I think the first episode is really good until a certain point, and then you see the Marvel strings, and I was like, oh my god, okay. And then the second episode is just like the Marvel strings, but they hide it a little bit better.
I'm fine with the Marvel strings.
and
That's what, like, cool.
Catherine Hahn is incredible. Like,
Yeah.
she will be nominated for stuff because she is so good and she plays so many different characters in this show that it I think and you know, this is just me. I'm continuing my WandaVision slander. Because I didn't really like that show a lot, but Catherine Hahn was one of the best parts of that. The amount of characters that she plays in this, I think, is way better and more complex than Elizabeth Olsen. And we're only 2 episodes in. Like, I think she carries it better. I think she carries the show
Elizabeth
on her back.
Olsen, like, she knew she was, you know what I mean? Like, she had an understanding going from character to character to character of who that she there's a part of her that knew she was doing this. Whereas, I don't know, we can get into it, but
I was gonna say
it's
that. Well,
just not as good of an actress as.
Yeah, her character knew in world, but we were led to believe that she didn't know, and it was just switching.
Yeah.
And then when Catherine Hahn shows in these, she just outacts everyone. And that's I agree with everything you guys say. The only thing is I didn't like Aubrey Plaza in this. I
liked her in the first half. In the second half, I was like, okay, whatever. But in the first half,
once she becomes secondary to me, she's better. I'm not even just trying to be divisive. It's just she's a better supporting actor. Like, there's a scene, and it's in the trailer, so I don't feel bad about saying, where she's sitting down and she's talking with Agatha, and they're having I was like,
she's a
wow,
great foil. Yeah, she's a great
foil for her.
But I was watching Catherine Hahn, I was like, whoa, you got to keep up, Aubrey Plaza, because Catherine Hahn is delivering, and Aubrey Plaza is not. It's just hard. She's not intense. I don't see her as an intense character, and what that role called for in that moment was very intense. And then so when she gets to be a little bit more secondary later and a little bit more Aubrey Plaza, she's better. But I just found her to be a little grating in the first part.
I don't necessarily think the character would have been intense in that moment, because she felt, I can't spoil, but I think she didn't feel like it was high stakes for her. You know what I mean? It's not what you're saying. For Catherine Hahn's character, it's intense, but for hers, it's not. It's child's play.
There's a scene where she catches on to what Catherine Hahn or Agatha's doing. Their whole deal is she's like, oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, we should go look for him.
Yeah,
that I thought that was great. It it kind of plays into what the setup is and all that.
It's way higher stakes for Agatha than it is for her. So I mean, I think we don't want to spoil it, but I think
it's tough.
We'll see how she does moving forward. But I do agree she's not leading lady. I think that she's a great support though. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, she is this great polarizing character. She's this I don't know what the positive version of this phrase is, but when they're like, oh, someone's a wet blanket. And you're like, oh my God.
Well,
she absorbs all of the energy from someone and makes it Aubrey Plaza. And that's what that's why she works really well with Chris Pratt.
Aubrey Plaza's whole vibe with everything is always low key and kind of undermining and not giving a crap. You know what I mean? That's her vibe, is that ironic, whatever it is. And it works really well with people like Chris Pratt, with people like Catherine Hahn. So as long as they don't try to put her at the forefront, which they did a little bit, but I think we'll see how it goes. But I do agree. She's great at giving that energy for people to bounce around.
Yeah. What do you guys think about Joe Locke, the guy here on the left?
He was great.
He's fine.
I thought he was great.
Doesn't have too much to chew on just yet.
No, but I loved that energy. I see that. I see him. I've seen him before. You know what I mean? He's playing that role just right.
Yeah, and I love how like I like how proud the show is to be behind like Agatha, which is sort of this like when the show came out, everyone was just like, why? Okay, like I think that was part of the joke when they're like, oh, now Coulson's stepsister is gonna have a show because Agatha gets a show. And like I like that this show like kind of takes that energy that like the toxic MCU fans and even like the people like me who I was like, they're putting out tons of crap. Like they're like playing with that a little bit. But I still think there is like, even in the first 2 episodes, I'm still like half in. I'm not all in yet. I am more in than I've been in a long time. I'll say that. Like, I think Catherine Hahn is like the perfect person to lead this show.
Yeah.
And like you guys were saying, and I think maybe Steve had said it earlier, like every time she's on screen, like she's just like the energy is through the roof. Even in the beginning of the show, when she's playing a different version of herself, she's like really great. And you're like, oh, you're emulating this other TV show. Like you're very clearly making fun of or being this TV show. And she nails it. Like,
I'll be interested to see where this goes. If they're going to play with the TV show trope, but in a different way, who knows?
I don't know.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, like, is there any more coming, or was like that? Was that their way of?
Because it would be cool to see a darker, grittier version of, because Wanda was all about these fun, happy family shows, and if she were to do these grittier, darker, like I don't know that that's what they're going to do, but I would be fascinated if they did do these like let's do a Hill Street Blues and let's do it. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, they're
gritty shows.
Like True Detective, right? Was a whole thing. Like, and
yes,
yeah, that's good. And yeah, you know, it's good. I think it is definitely an edgier step for Marvel, and the fact that I'm actually pretty excited for next week's episode or this week, whenever it is kind of saying multitudes about the show, because I was like, I just haven't cared in a while. I just wish I liked Aubrey Plaza a little bit more, but I just saw her in the movie My Old Ass that she's in, where she kind of like plays that character. She plays like an older version of her young self, and they're talking, and
probably
and that was, and she's really good in that.
And
in this, I was like, I can see her reading lines, in this movie. But I agree, John.
I mean, out of everyone, she gave the weakest performance. I agree, but I'm not sold that she's, you know what I mean? I'm not sold. I'm still in, you know what I mean, on her. I'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Have 1 foot in.
Yeah, I just don't know where, like, I was kind of watching this and I was like, I don't, like, this takes place, I think, directly after WandaVision. Is that correct?
It's 3 years after.
Oh, okay. So 3 years. Okay. So I clearly wasn't watching that hard. So it's
literally says, she literally asked a question, how long has it been? And someone says 3 years.
I will say,
you're very good at this job, Paul.
Yeah, thank you. The show did. Hey, that's why I get paid the medium bucks.
Wait, you're getting paid?
Yeah. What? Wait, are we getting paid? Oh yeah, no. I just take it off Autumn's credit card. But it's it's going to be interesting. I think this show is coming out. Also, like, shout out to their marketing team. It's coming out at the exact right time, like right around spooky season, and
it's
a lot of
hoa season. Daniel knows what I'm talking about.
I got you. I'm on that side of TikTok.
Yeah.
Nope. Not me and Alex, just a bunch of straights. Oh, you know what I thought
season.
There it is. Now it clicked.
I thought you were talking about hokas.
No, people will post like overcast, cloudy, foresty. They go, "Oh, it's time! It's hoa season."
Have you seen the ones where they're like recording themselves from like a moving angle?
Yes, I love it so much.
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I started yesterday. I'm like, here we go. Time for the series.
It's it.
Watch all those.
God. Yeah. Hey, you got to get ready for the anime. Anime's coming out.
Shut up. Is there an anime coming out?
Yeah, it's Midnight.
We literally covered it on our show.
When they did first. Yeah.
You're bad at
they're
this.
Gonna.
Oops.
I don't care. I mean, I read the book and it was fine, but like, I don't care about the anime. I probably won't watch it.
What anime now?
Twilight
has
another.
It's Edward. The first book from Edward.
No, I'm okay.
And it's
okay.
And so what happens is,
I don't want to know
Alex,
anymore.
Listen.
Hold on.
We
right ahead.
opened
Somewhere-
on a deer in the woods.
Somewhere you just see Bon Iver just like wake up and he's just like, oh, my royalties. yeah, that dude.
Yeah.
That dude was played in a lot of coffee shops.
Yep.
So okay,
Anyway.
so staying sort of in the MCU, I will say the one thing that this show did is I watched them this morning, and then I saw the new Thunderbolts trailer, which is also out.
Oh, yeah.
The new it's Marvel's first foray back into their like traditional
Suicide
May
Squad, yeah.
their May slot that they've had on lock forever, and I'm pretty excited for it. And so I'm excited for Agatha, Thunderbolts, and Captain America. And I don't know what's happening. I don't know if I'm getting soft, but I'm just curious, Alex. I know you're a big, you like Florence Pugh, and you kind of liked Yelena, and you liked David Harbour a little bit. Are you excited for this at all? No,
Not really. No, I mean it's Suicide Squad, Marvel's version of the
Yeah.
Suicide Squad. It's going to be the PG version. But
PG.
I like Yelena. I like David Harbour in
can't remember
things,
his name either. Yeah,
I
and I like
Sebastian
Buck.
Stan's going to be in it,
Yeah,
right? Who else is in it?
Bucky, and then it's Ghost from Ant-Man for some reason.
She was
Do we
such
know,
an important character.
Zemo, Helmet Zemo in this one, or
I think so, but I didn't see him in the trailer.
yeah,
Someone
me
can
neither.
correct me if I'm wrong.
Sworn he was
This
in this.
poster. Can you bring up the poster?
I will work on the poster.
I did not prep Daniel for this. We are now off book.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I'm pretty excited. But yeah, I know it's got Sebastian. It's got the Winter Soldier. It's got Yelena. It's got is he Red Soldier? What's his name? Red Guardian.
Red Guardian.
Red Guardian. Taskmaster. That was the first. You
It's
remember
pretty
that
much-
we were all working at the
Pretty
same
much the
company
Russian group.
when they.
I
we were
do
all working at
remember.
the same company when they gender swapped, and we were like, "Oh boy, let me get my
Everyone's
admin
going to be
hands on."
totally
You know what's
fine
funny?
with that.
You know what's funny is that they gender swapped Ghost, but no one cared, or they race and gender swapped Ghost, but no one cared or said anything about it. I was like, oh wow, everyone's growing. I guess they just had no idea.
Yeah, Alex is like,
Don't
I guess
people
I have
usually-
to. I
had
have
a
to carry all this
coworker-
misogyny on my back today.
I have
we
a
go.
coworker who literally knows
There we
nothing
go.
about
There we
any
go.
of this pop culture stuff, and
Mhm.
he'll just go in and Google like the characters just so he could be mad about the gender swap. Boy, bring that picture up again.
Yeah, bring it
picture's
back.
Picture
up.
up again. So
makes
we
me wanna watch
got
it.
Okay,
this
here,
guy
so
next to
we'll
Autumn's
go
face.
clockwise here. This is Ghost
Mhm.
here. This is David Harbour, and Alex's
Red
got
Guardian.
down there.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Taskmaster.
Red Guardian. By Alex's face is Taskmaster, and then we've got
Yelena.
Is that Agatha?
wolf? No. That's Florence. Well, we'll get there. Florence Pugh. What's her code name? Is
I don't know,
it?
she was Black Widow in the
Oh,
comics,
she's
so I
Black
don't know.
Widow. Yeah, she's Black Widow.
Yeah.
And then by
She looks
Daniel
amazing.
is actually that's Sentry. So that's Marvel's Superman. This is like his.
That looks like Catherine Hahn. Are you sure that's not Catherine Hahn?
It does, but it's not.
Is it not Rachel
Sentry.
Weisz? Wasn't she in this? No, she's dead. Right?
I think she's
No, it's
dead.
that's Rachel Ray.
Yeah, no, Rachel Ray is also dead, I think.
I
So
hope not. My
that's
cousin works for her. She's out of a job.
Hey,
That
man.
literally looks like Catherine Hahn. Who's playing the?
Bob,
Did they gender
thank you.
swap the Sentry?
No. That is Bob. Thank you, Bob Odenkirk. I don't know his name, but it's Bob something that's Sentry. And
Awesome.
then you got you got Bucky up there, and you got the U.S. agent, which I think is still one of my favorite code names in Marvel ever. Which I loved him. I love. Oh geez.
Oh my
what's
god,
his-
that's Lewis Pullman. It looks nothing
Lois
like.
Pullman. Thank you. Yeah, because his face is squished. He's not. I don't think
It
he's going to
doesn't
be a primary
matter. Why
character.
does he look like her? I can't take it. I'm just upset. I'm convinced that's Catherine Hahn, but that's
Also-
Bill Pullman's son, which is he looks like a
Uh,
spitting image of him.
Daniel,
Jim.
bring up. I want you to look for this because as soon as I saw this, when my coworkers posted this, it's like, "Oh, look how awesome this trailer is," and I was like, "Yeah," but then my brain, I was like, "Oh, light bulb." You know what this is, Daniel? Look up the poster for "This Is the End."
Oh, I just saw that.
Oh, I love
It's the
that.
exact same poster, and which I'm not mad at Marvel. Like that's a great. If you're going to emulate a poster, like emulate that one. But like I can't not see it, and now I just really hope that Sebastian Stan falls into a a hell
Giant
pit
flaming pit.
somewhere, or Michael Cera blows cocaine into his face.
That was amazing.
Oh, it looks like it was also
Does this,
a Sons
Autumn,
of
does this
Anarchy.
smell like cocaine to you? But yeah, honestly, I'm pretty excited for this. I think I'm more in on some of these full cast shows.
The ensemble.
Boom,
does
there it is.
look-
Thank you.
It is, yeah.
Got you.
Like as soon as I saw it this
It
morning, I was
really
just like,
is.
yeah.
Oh wow. That's
I
I
wonder-
will say, if
Mhm.
you know, this is just me nitpicking. The lighting on Yelena's face here is reversed from everyone else's, so she looks like a clone stamp, just Photoshop.
Oh yeah, the light from David Harbour is going this way.
yeah.
It's heading
shining
in
that
on
way.
his right
And
side.
then it's like the light is shining from
Oh yeah,
Autumn's
and then
face
down
onto
there.
Yelena.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm, mhm.
Also, you didn't get it, but there was another. See if you can find a full version of this, Daniel. I want to point this out.
Of
on
this?
the stream. Of just Thunderbolts.
Just Thunderbolts.
Yeah,
But
because
this
it's
is
a
the full
little
version.
it's a little cut off
Oh,
on
gotcha.
on Bob's hand, and I'll show you why. But there's like as soon as this came out, oh my god! I mean, and you guys all know what it's like. Like you put out something and you're like, wow, this is awesome, and then immediately, like an hour after, it's just like backlash and backlash. And
Yeah.
backlash.
Oh my gosh.
So
yeah.
there was a little bit of backlash on this poster because Catherine Hahn / Rachel Ray / Bob / Sentry has 6 fingers. And they're like, oh, they forgot to like AI out his
No.
fingers. Like, so it like apparently was an artist who did
Like
this.
they
like,
can't
took
Photoshop with an artist. They have to use
but
AI.
they didn't
Come
Photoshop
on.
it. And like, Autumn, how many rounds of review does one asset go through? For you?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
8, 9, 10.
For something really simple that has one image or one character or one asset to
Or
review.
one
It goes back-
Starbucks
Yeah.
cup on the throne,
Making
on the
Daniel work
throne room of Game
Well,
of
no,
Thrones.
we know
This
from a
shit
job that
happens.
we've worked at before.
Yeah.
You submit something and it goes through and then they make these little tweaks and you go back and forth for sometimes weeks. For this to have made it, and also, come on, you're going to use AI.
Shit happens.
Come on.
Also, you
It
are
wasn't AI.
the
It was a
Marvel.
bad Photoshop because
the
they
Marvel-
definitely clone stamped her. She was
Mhm.
definitely stamped in that photo. There was no. You could absolutely accidentally Photoshop 2 hands over each other, but yeah.
Like
she
you're the
never
Marvel
does. The lighting
Cinematic
sucks.
Universe.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
are one of the biggest brands in the world, and like this
They-
happens.
Game of
They
Thrones at
used to go
peak had a
back and forth.
Starbucks cup in the
Yes.
throne room. It
They would
happened.
go
At its
back and
peak,
forth
not a
about
season
where
1
a
error
comma
either.
is.
Yeah.
And like they'd send things back for like a piece of like where a comma is or where a quote is or like
Mhm.
rearrange.
Mhm.
Like they would nitpick every tiny little thing. And for this is amazing. Anyway.
Yeah, let me
I'm
see. if I
not
can-
love it.
seeing anything.
I hope it's the beginning of the
wait,
end.
here we go. I might have found.
I know I sent. I
Find it.
literally I sent it.
I feel like Disney probably sent murderers to the people's houses who had it on their hard drives.
Yeah,
I'm sure it doesn't exist.
I couldn't really
Daniel.
find a copy of it.
Daniel, you just glitched out. I think they know that you're searching for it. You gotta stop. They're hacking you.
Yeah.
Okay,
know
look,
where
you can
live
see
now.
They're
it
coming through
in
your
my
computer.
phone here.
Oh. Ew. Come
Ew.
on.
I don't see 6
Pinky?
fingers.
Yep. Look at.
Here we go.
You know,
That's gross. Come on.
Oh, there we go. That
Yeah.
was it, Daniel.
Yeah.
Got it.
1, 2, 3. Yep. Ew.
Yeah, there's 2 back there.
Yeah.
It
That
does
piggy
look
didn't
like
go to
they
market.
cloned, like they copied the hand and
Mhm.
adjusted it without deleting the background. That's what it looks like. I don't think it's AI. I think they did
No.
poor Photoshop. Like I've had to do that when I was a photographer. I had to move a hand or do whatever, but you have to
Mhm.
delete the copy in the back.
Yeah.
And they didn't. But like nobody
Yeah.
noticed.
Yeah.
Steve
And
Nana
that's-
says
that's-
be a
maybe
marvel.
it's on purpose.
That's the point now, right? It's
Mhm.
like, unfortunately, companies don't have the
Photoshop
they
skills?
can't- Well, that and also they don't have the benefit anymore of saying
It
like,
reminds us not
oh,
to assume.
I know. What if like Sentry's like, it's actually canon. He has 6
Yeah.
fingers on his right hand.
So way to be
Um,
ableist.
I know. The woke mob's not gonna like this.
We poked the wolf.
That like
Let's go.
these companies don't have the benefit anymore of making these mistakes because the first thing anyone says now, like when you see a bad script, the first thing anyone says is seems like it was written by AI.
Yeah.
So like even if it's bad Photoshop, like in the midst of all this AI discussion, like it's so the Force Ghost. Yes. What about me and Alex? He's like, no, you guys just look like scavengers,
people.
I guess. You guys look like people who work on the Millennium Falcon for minimum wage.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I don't know. It sucks like to see like that happen because I was like, I saw the poster and even I was like, oh, this is the end. It's still a pretty cool poster for like Marvel,
Yeah.
considering it. You know, I'm just glad it's not their like big key art image with the bad person in the back.
And everybody
like,
looks cool.
and
Yeah.
everyone's like lined up. Like it's different and it's nice.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Does this six finger accident, which is the name of my ska band, make you more excited to see this movie?
It has no effect on whether or not I want to see the movie, but I do want to see the movie.
I think it's a commentary on Marvel's treatment of their VFX workers, you know, and like those crappy rush jobs they probably have them forced through. So I'm still going to see it to support the artists who worked on the film.
I think it's like laying off a lot of artists because of AI. So like this is what you get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if AI didn't do this, they probably have fewer of the artists.
I hope they learned from the what was that fucking show they put out? Secret Invasion. I hope that they learned from like the AI madness that happened there. But it's Marvel, so probably not.
They publicly
like,
said,
we already have all the money, we're fine.
Yeah.
They had no idea. They were like, they're such idiots. I'm so sorry. I know that one day, Marvel, if you're watching this, we'd love to be sponsored. Reach out at hello@fandomsocial.com. But you guys are so stupid because they thought this whole time that they were like, oh, there you go, Marvel, that's for you. DC as well. We'll cover the Penguin. What other shit you want us to cover? We'll do it. So they're like, ooh, we're gonna make our whole intro out of AI, and then they told everyone thinking that it would be cool. It's basically like they snuck the word like Riz and Skibbity into this, and they're like, this is cool. This is gonna be cool in 10 years, right?
That reminds me of the people who call themselves AI artists. It's like, are you though? Like, are you?
I also know how to
AI
work a calculator.
Yeah, like you can call yourself a prompt engineer if that's what but you don't call yourself an AI artist. But yeah, I've seen that and it's pretty. That reminds me of this little.
I think they were trying to do a thing. They said a thing. I remember they were like, it tied into the plot of the show, how everything, because Secret Invasion, it's about them being fake and weird and on whatever.
Yeah, I remember hearing something.
I was like, okay.
Like me.
And then they had the AI write the script and do all the acting too.
How impressed would you be? But how impressed would you be if you're on? I mean, I think most of us, you know, are either in relationships or not looking or whatever it may be. But you're on Hinge or you're on Farmers Only, and someone's just like, "What do you do for work?" You're like, "Oh, you're a sociological prompt engineer," and then you find out they just write quizzes for BuzzFeed. Because wouldn't that that's a prompt? That's all it is BuzzFeed quizzes. That's what a prompt engineer does. Spin Doctor, yes. New band name, I called it.
Just a single Spin Doctor.
Spin Doctor.
We'll see you in court.
MD. Yeah. Spin Doctor MD.
Yeah. Dr. Spins.
I have a quick side note that I went this weekend and saw Transformers 1. And I was very pleasantly surprised. I really, really liked it. Given how much I don't like Transformers, I love this beginning to end. I thought it was really, really interesting. And just standing alone as its own story, like it was really, really good. The animation was amazing. And it was just a great story. So highly recommend. I was very pleasantly surprised.
How did you like Hemsworth? Because, you know, like he said pretty much that he's like, oh, I'm not trying to do like a Peter Cullen type of Optimus.
No, I thought he had there was good character to his voice. Like it wasn't like he wasn't trying to be some other character, but it was good character to it. I really liked it. Yeah.
Yeah, I might check it out. I'm still maybe a little off of Transformers for a while, but
animated.
Michael Key.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, his character was great. His performance was fantastic, and it added what the show needed. I mean, what the movie needed, in just the right way.
Yeah, and he's Bumblebee, right?
Yeah, he's Bumblebee, and it was just the right amount of that comic relief without it being annoying, without it being, the
Agreed.
chicken on
Yeah.
Moana. You know what I mean? It's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Just
Or oh my
thrown
god,
in.
or the worst offender of all of them is the
Yeah.
stupid screaming goats from Thor.
Oh god,
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah. I just
Nightmare.
felt it was woven into the story appropriately, and like
Mhm.
it was just a lot of fun. It was a really great story. I loved it. I
Okay.
feel like you could have watched it without having. You would have been better off not having seen any Transformers ever.
Yeah.
You'd be fine, just because then that wouldn't be in there poisoning your brain. But yeah, I thought it was great.
Interesting. There's one
Yeah.
I always talk about it. There's this one reviewer that I almost fundamentally disagree with on everything. And he didn't like it. So it almost makes me really want to see it.
Okay.
And so now that I
Yeah.
know you liked it and another
Yeah.
friend of mine liked it
Oh.
and he didn't like it, it makes me want to see it.
Also, credit scene, which I thought was like wonderful. So stay.
Oh, it's like
stay for
there's
the
like a
credits.
post-credit scene? Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, appreciate
Really
the heads
fun.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Good to know. So yeah, it just says Optimus will return. No shit. But all right, everyone. Well, thank you guys all
Just
so
Nick
much.
Fury's there.
Feels good. Oh yeah, putting a team together, and this James Bond music starts playing. All right, everyone. Well, thank you guys all so much for joining us. Feels good to be back
bye.
in form a little bit.
Yeah, nice.
No, we have an outro. So yeah, we'll see you guys next Monday. I mean, we can maybe do a show Saturday morning like we've been doing. I don't know if Alex is free. I will be in Vegas at a music festival. It's for work, so I'm using Autumn's card.
Yeah, I will. I will not be here on next Monday because I don't want to be. No, because I'm gonna be visiting. Gonna be visiting my
Ooh.
child at college. So
Oh, fun.
yeah.
This goes to Hogwarts. So,
Yep.
what is your child majoring in at Hogwarts?
Animation and storyboarding. Amora.
It's never mind. I'm gonna move on from this. Well, everyone, thank you all so much. We'll see you guys next Monday at the same time, 6 p.m. PST, 9 a.m. Eastern. Just be there. We'll be there.
Right
9
early,
p.m.
let's
Eastern.
go.
Yeah, bright and early. Like, comment, subscribe to the notification bell. As always, let us know. Leave a comment on this YouTube video now of what you guys thought about either Agatha or the Penguin. Maybe you can persuade one of you. Find people out there can persuade Autumn to watch the Penguin or Alex to watch the Agatha.
That'll never
Along
happen.
show. It might.
You have a
You
better
never
chance
know.
with me, and I'm not doing it. So
You never know. Hey, Roseanne has a stand-up act now. Anything is possible.
oh,
So,
She had a stand-up act before.
well,
Yeah,
it
She's
doesn't
returning
matter.
to her roots.
It doesn't. That doesn't fit my joke though. So, thank you all so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful week.
Yes.
We'll see you guys next Monday again. And remember to like what you love what you like, and don't be
mhm,
about it.
mhm.
Bye, everyone.
Stay
Bye,
informed.
everyone.
and
If I
don't let
wasn't that
anyone
about
rip
it,
you off.
There should be a poof of smoke that when you say "Don't be a jerk about it," I just disappear.
Nice.
No.
Oh, or you just go into the
No,
Phantom Zone. I'd like that. Oh, Daniel didn't press the button. His one job.